I have an older daughter from a different relationship. She's 37. And then I have, and her name's Veronica. And then I have Kirsten, who was 31, and Joey, who was 29. And Kirsten was my first child with my ex-husband. And when she was 4 days old, you know, when babies are newborn, you just want to squeeze them tight and hold them. And I pulled her up tight just to sniff her, and she screamed and ripped her head back from me. And she never wanted to be held. She was put to sleep. She just wanted to be put down. And so I kind of knew that there was going to be some problems. And by the time she was 3 years old, I was already taking her to the doctor because she was having uncontrollable temper tantrums. And by the time she was 10, she was seeing a psychologist. So her psychological issues started very young. And then when she was 15, I found out that she was hurting herself. She was cutting herself, which started a whole nother process of medications and psychiatrists and psychologists and mental hospital stays, and it was just one thing after another. We spent a lot of time in doctor's offices and in psychologist's office and psychiatrist's office. And it just progressed. She wouldn't take her medication, so then she started self-medicating. And she started self-medicating early, and I didn't know about it. When she turned 18, she moved out of the house pretty quickly and with her boyfriend. And then she ended up pregnant with my first grandson, Nicholas. And she was totally clean and, you know, just loved being a mama. But as soon as she stopped nursing him, she started doing some really hardcore drugs and didn't have anything to do with him. And flash forward several years, lots of drugs, lots of back and forth with her boyfriend, lots of in and out of my grandson's life. She had lost a baby, and then she ended up pregnant with my granddaughter, Violet. And when she got pregnant with Violet, she instantly stopped doing everything, and she was like super mom, and I loved being with her, and she loved being with her kids. And Violet was such a joy. She was an amazing little girl that saved my daughter's life. Because I know had she not gotten pregnant for Violet, she would have been dead. Kirsten was doing so well. It was the first time in her life that she felt like she had purpose and that she had control. One day, my oldest daughter and her son had gone over to Kirsten's just to help Kirsten, and Violet had had a rough night the night before, and she hadn't slept well. And she kept waking up. When she'd fall asleep, she'd wake up screaming. So she had finally fallen asleep, and it was fine all through the day. And she had come in and she wasn't feeling well. And they tried to give her some spaghetti, but she threw it up. And then my older daughter was holding her, and she had a seizure on her lap and went unresponsive. So they had to call 911. She was just this little tiny chubby girl laying on a bed with all kinds of cords and tubes and everything on her. When they did a CAT scan of her, they saw that her brain was just filled with fluid. And they did surgery on her, brain surgery. They found that she had a tumor in her brain that was bigger than a ping pong ball. And it was pressing on her brainstem. And they couldn't believe that she had never had any other symptoms before that. The pediatric neurosurgeon tried to get the tumor out and it was going well, and right at the end she just started bleeding and they couldn't control it, and so she died during surgery because she bled out. And in that moment I was scared to death that my daughter was going to be next, because that little girl was everything to her. That child was the one thing that saved Kirsten's life. And now she's gone. And since that time, Kirsten has had a lot of problems. She's been in and out of the hospital multiple times. She's been suicidal. She has made a lot of really, really bad decisions in her life. She would call me and cry, and everything was terrible, and everything was, she didn't know what she was going to do, and she was so unhappy, and she was suicidal. And I just kept yelling, God, why aren't you doing anything? Can't you see how miserable she is? Can't you see what this is doing to her? Can't you do something? And I would just yell. And I'd say, save her, do something. I just yelled. I was so angry. I was just so angry. And I cried nonstop for months. But I just questioned everything after that. I knew God was with us. I knew that He was good, but it was so hard to find that in that moment. And there are still moments that I'm just like, why did you let us have her for such a short period of time? And You might not have let us have her at all, So I got to be Violet's granny for 22 months. And I got to see her almost every single day of those 22 months. And I thought I was going to save my daughter. But I have no control. But there have been things, probably my whole life, I can fix it. I think I tell myself that all the time. I can fix it. I can hug it better. I can talk it better, I can kiss it better. But it's not me. My daughter's 31. I can't hug it better anymore. I can't talk it better. I can't kiss it better. I can pray it better though. I can definitely pray it better. So I just have to trust. And it's a process. It's a long process, but it's a process.